Why is it important to eat while on a stimulant? Well, one of the major side effects of any type of stimulant is that it will decrease your appetite. And so there are two main kind of families of stimulants. The first family is the Adderall family, also known as amphetamine. The second family is called is the Ritalin family, also called methylphenidate. And so with both of those particular families, they each have their own side effect risks. One of the main side effects being appetite suppression. So it will literally take away your appetite. You won't even think of eating. You won't feel hungry. And so you won't think, oh, I'm hungry. Let me go eat something. And so um, for some folks, anytime I'm giving a lecture, some folks are like, "Oh my God, that sounds awesome!" I don't, I overeat as it is, or I'm an emotional eater, or I eat when I'm stressed. And we don't like to use stimulants for those particular situations. So, again, consult your friendly neighborhood clinician before you do those particular things. But in the event that you're taking a stimulant for attention and focus and it's ruining your appetite, one of the hiccups is that if you don't eat, you're going to feel bad. So even though there's not a specific uh, condition known as hangry, but I believe in it because I've been hangry before, which is kind of the anger that comes from when you're hungry, and they call it hangry. And so for people who are on stimulants, when their appetite is decreased while the stimulant is working, they don't think to eat. They're probably in a generally good mood because they're not thinking about it. But at some point, the check comes due. And so if you have an empty stomach and you don't have enough glucose in your system, you're probably going to start getting very kind of irritable and upset. And so one of the difficult parts about those stimulants is that that's more likely to happen. So I always encourage people, if you're on a stimulant, make sure you eat a full meal, even if you're not hungry, right? So the key is to have some glucose, which is a type of sugar. It's a type of carbohydrate. Make sure you have some of that on board somewhere, especially when your stimulant is wearing off, because you're going to get a rush of a feeling of wanting to eat. And that's the prime time when a lot of people will overeat because they're hungry, their stimulant is worn off, and they're hangry. And it just becomes this like perfect storm of hunger and overeating. So be very thoughtful that if you're on a stimulant, I always encourage folks to make sure that they continue to eat so that you don't get hangry and other things.